We talked a little bit about the relationship between net neutrality and paid prioritization. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about the relationship between paid prioritization and internet censorship. We often don't think about paid prioritization as a form of censorship. But if you think about economics or pricing as a potential way of introducing what Molly Roberts refers to as friction in access to information, then in fact paid prioritization can be viewed as a particular way where certain parties are restricted from receiving certain types of information merely on the basis of their ability or willingness to pay. So with that in mind, let's take a look at paid prioritization and some of its effects on how people access content on the internet. Paid prioritization takes a number of forms, but one of the forms it can sometimes take is so-called zero rating, where an ISP might charge users based on the amount of data exchanged, but not meter traffic to a certain service or to a certain set of sites. Hence the name zero rating, meaning that for those particular set of sites or services, the user isn't billed for their data usage. This is common in particular regions of the world. In particular, cellular network service providers partake in this practice a lot in developing regions, but we've also seen it in the United States in certain forms as well. One area where zero rating shows up is in video streaming, where certain providers may partner with a cellular internet service provider, such as, in this case, T-Mobile's Binge On service, whereby usage of these services do not count against the user's so-called data cap, or the user may not be billed for data usage as long as they use these particular services. One area where we've seen zero rating practices is in Facebook's so-called Free Basics service, which it offers in certain developing regions. As part of this service, a user downloads an app called Free Basics, which is offered by Facebook, and a user gets access to some subset of applications for free without paying the mobile carrier for data charges. Access to other sites outside of this particular application, however, incur regular carrier fees and data charges. One can immediately see how the usage of this type of app might skew a user's consumption of information, news, or other types of content consumption towards certain applications, services, information providers, and so forth. We attempted to study the effects of practices such as zero rating on users' internet use and consumption. We looked at mobile usage patterns in the context of pricing practices like zero rating, and we explored whether the use of zero rating caused a user to use only the zero-rated services or additionally increase their usage of other types of services outside the so-called zero-rated walled garden. To understand this question, we performed a longitudinal empirical analysis of mobile usage patterns, and we also performed a comparative qualitative analysis of these effects in different countries. We looked at both usage behavior using a mobile app, as well as survey responses in two different countries, Kenya and South Africa. As part of this study, we were able to observe changes in behavior as a result of zero rating as part of some natural experiments. During our period of study, a South African cellular carrier called Cell C zero-rated WhatsApp, and during that period, the usage of this app increased threefold. We also saw another natural experiment where the cellular carrier MTN zero-rated Twitter during the 2014 World Cup. And we saw similar effects, where the zero rating resulted in higher usage both during and after the initial zero rating period. In the qualitative part of our analysis, we saw that users chose to use zero rating for a wide variety of reasons, ranging from free access to specific sites, the high cost of paid plans, and simply trying out the service. The same users, however, had other reasons for not relying solely on zero rating, including the narrow range of applications, the limited version of the types of applications they had access to, the end of a temporary zero rating promotion, and the difficulty in using or navigating the zero-rated walled garden application. In summary, many users around the world pay high prices for cellular data usage. And thus, the practice of zero rating can have significant effects on a user's decision about the types of content and the types of applications they use and consume. Zero rating affects usage both initially during that zero rating period as well as over time. We even saw effects subsequent to the end of the zero rating period. Users who take advantage of zero rating typically prefer the full service version of various applications that exist on the paid plan, but the existence of a paid promotion can increase preference or usage towards those zero rating applications. As far as information control and censorship are concerned, the implications here are clear. One can use techniques and methods like zero rating and differential pricing to affect consumer behavior, causing users to prefer certain sites, applications, services, and sources of information over others by exploiting users' price sensitivity.